Welcome back to House of Hoon. Today we're going to be working some exhaust magic on this fat MR2. Now for the keen-eyed viewer out there, you'll notice that this is not any Toyota engine that you've ever seen before. This is actually a K24 out of a Honda. So a quick little backstory on this engine. The owner actually bought this engine from the US, it's already being built, and in the US it apparently made 700 horsepower on the dyno. So that's about 500 Australian horsepower. He was told that the limitations of that 700 horsepower were the turbo itself, it needed a larger turbo, and the exhaust, it also needed a larger exhaust. So that's what we're doing today. The customer has supplied this stainless steel turbo exhaust manifold for me. I just had to make a couple of modifications to it, such as turning the collector around so that we can get the wastegate facing out the other end, and also welding on a V-band mount for the turbo because the turbo is actually V-band mounted. As for the exhaust, the outlet on the turbo is 3-inch, so we're going to do a reducer or expander, whichever way you want to look at it, from 3-inch to 3.5-inch, and then we're going to do a 3.5-inch exhaust all the way down, out the back, and into 2 mufflers. Now what's going to make this exhaust a little bit juicy is we're using 316 stainless steel, and we're going to be doing lobster back or pie cuts the whole way around. So right from the reducer to the mufflers, all going to be lobster backing because the customer wants that look. If you're interested in knowing what the details are of this Garrett turbo, I'll flick them up on the screen. As for the wastegate, this is it, a big mother. So this is actually a Turbo Smart 60mm, and this will end up going underneath the turbo about there-ish, give or take an inch. With all of this work and a bit more, the customer's going to be aiming for between 700 and 1000 horsepower. So I'll let you be the judge of if anything is going to break at all or if everything is going to break. We'll head on over to the bench now and I'll show you how we're going to be making these pie cuts. To do the massive amount of pie cuts that I'm going to be needing for this job, I'm going to be using this pie cutting fixture right here. This specific cutting fixture right here is designed for cutting 15-degree pie cuts on 3.5-inch piping. This kit right here is actually the modular design, so you can easily slide out different radius blocks. So right here you've got 1 degree for your radius, 0.6 degrees, and 1.5 degrees. So you decide you want to change it over, slide it in, good to go. Decide you want to change it halfway through, swap it back out, wonderful. Another great feature is for the indexing of your pipe when you're doing your cuts. So on each block, you've got a line in the middle, and you've also got the joining line of the 2 halves of the cutting fixture. So you slide your pipe in, line your seam line up with either the bottom or the top lines, do your cut, rotate it 180 degrees, and you've got your line on the other side ready to go so that you can get your pie cuts spot on. If you're interested in picking up one of these pie cutting fixtures or a vast variety of other cutting fixtures, I'll put a link to our website down below this video and you can pick one up for yourself. Let's now head on over to the bandsaw and we'll get some of these pie cuts happening. Well, there we have it. That's one completed exhaust for the MR2. There was a hell of a lot of welding in all of those bloody pie cuts, but after seeing the end result, I reckon it's definitely worth it. I hope you've all enjoyed this video and maybe even learnt a thing or two, maybe. If you have enjoyed it, I'd appreciate it if you could give this video a thumbs up. And if you're not already and you'd like to, consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. And I'll catch you all on the next one.